Or it could be.
Where's
There's one left if you don't want to do it. Okay. Moving back to item 8A. I mean B, I'm sorry. Discussion and or take action on appointing Keith Kelly City Secretary. The chair will entertain a motion.
Okay, as Annette has been doing city administrator / city secretary, we make a motion for her to continue with that. And we would like to make a motion that Kim Crowley would become the assistant city secretary and training for that position.
I second that.
Pam and Lee on second, all in favor.
Kevin Featherston.
Leon Myers.
Pam Reed.
Chris Burkett.
Okay, it is unanimous. Moving on to 8C, discussion and or action on contract for election services between Hunt County Elections Administrative Offices and the city of West Walkeny. Any discussion, questions, comments, concerns on that? We do this every year.
It's the same one we've been doing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes.
I didn't see any changes in what we've been doing.
This is, we always have to have a contract in case we do have an election, which we will because we had a vacancy.
Yeah. I make a motion, we accept the contract as written.
I seconded.
Kevin Featherston.
Leon Myers.
Pam Reed.
Chris Burkett.
Who's the person?
Chris.
Okay, I got it. Okay, moving on to D, 8D,
Yes. Yes.
but
All in favor, she does.
moving on to 8D, discussion and or take action on having a gospel singing. I'm sure there's a word missing there or something.
Festival.
Oh, okay, is that the word? Well, there's a word missing, but I understand.
Yes, what we'd like to do is have a gospel singing festival in the park. It's gonna be a fundraiser for the Walking Fire Department. Volunteer fire department. And we're gonna have vendors and we're gonna want the park for majority of the day. I mean, anybody's welcome to come. There's no charge to get in. And we're gonna pass the food and have some food maybe and some vendors and some games.
Are you going to have a plan B, in the event we have a weather thing?
Got some big old tents coming. We do have some big.
Yeah,
tents
but
coming.
that doesn't, I mean, people aren't gonna get out in the mud, doing tent and all that. I don't know, that's just my thought. You know, to continue.
Big auditorium.
What kind of time? What's the time?
Well, right now it's from 2 to whenever. It just depends how this, we have a gut feeling that this thing is gonna grow bigger than what we'd imagined.
So we put it out to just a couple and we've got 9 signed up already.
Okay, who's actually presenting this? Is it like a church group? that's
No,
presenting?
fire department.
The fire
Fire
department,
department.
okay, so they're going to actually post it
Yes.
as, okay, that's my question, okay.
But we do have a ministry that is helping us organize the singing groups and putting it together. So,
We could use some of that.
and we're trying to get Annette's.
We're supposed to say that yet.
Sorry. You didn't hear that.
Okay, Chair, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept the gospel singing festival on October 1st in the city park.
Second that.
Give it a second, all in favor.
Kevin Featherston.
Leon Meyer,
family.
Okay.
Does that mean the parts at no cost?
Huh?
Does that mean the parts at no cost, right? The whole part? That day.
For that day.
Yeah, because that's what this is to be able to use the park that day. Correct, everybody agrees on that?
Well, it's not in the motion or it's not listed that way. It's in there, but,
you want me to restate it?
Well,
the motion.
We're done.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just.
Yeah.
we're good.
Moving on to 8E, which is discussion and or action on proposed tax rate. Does everybody have that? And you have that? All right.
It is very much less than what it was last year.
Actually, am I thinking right? I looked at this like earlier today. I think it's a 10 cent per 100. Discount, I guess, for lack of a better term. It's gonna take our,
12 cents,
the 12,
12 cents, 12 cents less.
I know it's somewhere in there. Yeah, here it is.
Mhm.
51. No, it's actually 10 cents. Our adopted rate right now is 0.5100. And the voter approval rate is 0.418. So
Yeah.
we're talking 10 cents on the voter approval rate. Any discussion or comments, concerns?
I'm sorry, what did you say it was right now?
Anyway, it's at point,
0.510385 per hundred.
and then the rate that we're talking about is, point 418,086 per hundred. So that's,
That's the voter approval rate, but the minimum revenue one is 0.395172. So we need to make up our mind whether we're going to go the no new revenue tax rate or the voter approval rate or something in between.
Which is still cheaper than what we got now.
Both of them are.
Excuse me,
any of those.
do you have the figures on the increase in the appraisal rate?
Yeah,
We
we
don't.
do have some dollar figures that they sent us in certified totals from the other, but it doesn't give individual
But
increases.
It doesn't give us a total of either of the tax rate. I explained that. It's not giving us the totals of the 0.41 versus 0.51 versus
0.39.
0.39. That doesn't break it down like that. They're just giving us the total tax rate. I mean, the total taxable amount, the appraised value, right?
And they look at what was done last year, basically. On them.
Any other discussions, comment, concerns?
Mr. Mayor, if
Yes, sir.
you're taking comments or suggestions from the floor, it sounds to me like you're saying that you're gonna get less money revenue. And just to be clear, that no new rate, that 0.39 gives you the exact same amount of money that you had the previous year.
What it does actually is it
What-
gives us the same amount of money that we got the year before, but it doesn't take into account the new people. So it doesn't register enough money for any new people into the area. It only gives you the same amount that you got the previous year. even though you have more people in the area.
So, and if you'd let me, if you'd let me finish,
I'm sorry, I didn't.
If
mean
I
to
could-
interrupt.
Adjust for inflation.
I totally understand, but it does not, that point, the 0.39 does not include new improvements that are added to the tax roll. And last year, that was pretty significant, and it's also very significant this year. But that 0.41, that's the automatic rollback rate. So if y'all decide to go above that 0.41, we as the citizens will get to vote
Correct,
whether that will pass.
absolutely correct.
Now, that's maintenance and operation. It does not include your debt, which, you know, your debt's gonna be pretty, it was a nickel last year on 50,000, so I don't know what it's gonna be on 70,000. That
I
you're,
don't know.
that's what you've got in the TNT is 70,000. So
Right,
you're not losing any money.
Any other discussion or questions, concerns, comments?
I don't think we can go to no new revenue tax rate as much as I would like to. Because the cost of doing the business around here with the inflation. And with the more people and the more services we're having to provide. I don't think we're quite at that point that we can sustain on the same budget that we had previously. We all feel about it.
I agree.
This is to,
So,
for us to set the proposed tax rate, it's not necessarily the voted tax rate. You set the proposed tax rate, you have a public hearing, then after that, you set the budget, and then you set this. You do that, and you do that in September.
The difference is about 10 cents. I mean, 2 cents. I'm sorry. The difference is about 2 cents. Well,
Right.
Yeah.
0.51.
no, I'm looking at the new approval rate, not
The
the.
voter
New
approval
versus
I'm
rate,
looking at the,
voter approval rate, yeah, it's 1 cent. It's 1 cent different.
Yeah.
Right,
Which we can go with that without.
without any votes needed, absolutely.
Do we need a motion?
yes,
I'll make the motion that we go with this year's voter approved tax rate. Of 0.418 086. Oh, 5, excuse me.
My second motion.
I'm feeling,
Yeah,
Anne Marie,
Chris Burkett.
moving on to 8F, discussion and action on setting public hearing dates for the proposed annual budget for fiscal year 2022 and 23, and also the proposed tax rate for the fiscal year 2022 to 2023.
yeah, what do you think we'll be working on?
We were talking about having the public hearing on the 29th, which would have been a Monday of August. We have scheduled meetings, 2 meetings next week, 3 meetings the following week. If we feel like we need a 4th meeting, we might have it on the 29th and have our public hearing on the 30th to be safe. Because we have to publish this in the newspaper, you know, proposing when we're gonna have the public hearing on the rate. So, is that a problem?
Or the Saturday from 30th, just to be safe.
We may have another meeting on the 29th. You had mentioned you might be going out of town,
Yeah, but that'll be the next day, or later that week, so I don't have a problem.
so we
Question
want to
is,
schedule it for the
Chris.
30th.
the question is for Chris, because something's come up recently that you couldn't do something on a Monday. Is that every Monday? Just that?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So we could do the 29th.
Yeah, we could, if we have everything complete. On our budget.
So if we set it for the 30th, it gives us the 29th in case we need an extra day.
Okay.
Study. Annual budget.
So we're gonna do it on the 30th?
Yes.
And that goes along with the tax rate also. We'll do that the same day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We have to do our budget first and then the tax.
Need a motion on that?
Any other discussions, questions, comments, concerns, anybody? All right, Chair will entertain the motion.
Make a motion that we set the date for a public hearing on the annual budget and tax rate for August the 30th.
Okay,
I second that.
Chris seconded. All in favor?
Leon Myers,
Cam Reed.
Chris Burkett.
Okay. It is unanimous. Item number 9, coming up to interviewing applicants to fill place 4 vacancy on the city council. This is the seat that Robin had, for those of you who don't know. What I'd like to do is have one of the candidates in here, and because I'm sure council is gonna have some questions. And maybe the other 2 step outside or something, so that we don't get it'd be unfair for us to, whoever's the 3rd one in line.
Do that.
You can't do that?
We can't go into executive session.
You cannot even, well, I'm not talking about executive session.
We can't have closed meetings. We're gonna have to.
Okay.
You'll be an open meeting.
Okay, so, I'm taking the first up is Dwayne Halls. I'm doing it the list, the order that I've got. So Dwayne, oh, there he is. Look there. The way we've done it in the past is get up and tell a little bit about yourself, what your background is. And then, we can discuss, have questions or whatever that the council may have.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, distinguished council. Appreciate the opportunity to be here to talk to you all this afternoon about this issue. My name is Dwayne Hall. I've been a resident of West Waukee since 2011. I did sell our house in last year. We moved away for a while. That didn't work out too well, so we moved back. We bought a property down at the Shoreline RV Park. We bought us a little park model house on the lake down there. And it's perfect for 2 old people, and that's where enjoying life, where they say living the dream. Anyway, I came to work for the city of West Waukee in June of 2013 as code compliance officer. I did that position for about 3 years. It also entailed much to my dismay, a police department administrative person, which I had a good time with. I enjoyed every minute of it. That was running cases to the DA, running evidence to the crime labs in Garland or in Tyler or wherever they needed to go. I did that function. I registered sex offenders for 6 years. Yeah, I guess the city got tired of me doing code compliance, so they moved me over to court clerk. So I became a municipal court clerk for a couple of years here under Judge Moran. Worked with Miss Kim here every day of our lives, and we struggled through it and had a good time, and it was a great experience. I did garner a notary public out of that, and so that was a really good experience. I currently work in town. My wife and I manage 2 mobile home parks. While with the city, I served on the planning and zoning. I was chairman for 4 years. I was the first city appointed and only city employee on Keep West Clark Beautiful. And I'm still on that today, so that's been a long time. I served on EDC for a while. I'm involved with the fire department. I'm on the executive board of the Tawakoni Fire Department. I'm on the county planning and zoning commission. On that board, I've been on there 7 years. I was chairman for 4. Deacon at Grace Baptist Church, I'm proud to say, in Quinlan, Texas. And my wife, Mary, and I reside in town today.
Excuse me. Thank you, Dwayne. Anybody have any questions?
Wayne, why do you want to be on city council?
Because I feel, I know a lot about the city. I've probably been to more city council meetings than all of y'all, for sure. I know a lot about the ins and the outs, the operation of the city. I know a lot about the budget process because I wasn't directly involved, but I was there for the whole time I was here. And I just think that I have some positive things to bring to the city, and I think I'd be an asset to helping this council and this city move forward.
Any other questions from anybody?
How long did you say you lived in West Walkeny?
Which time?
Oh, I guess total, but this time as well.
I've been here a total of 11 years. 6 months of that I was gone. We moved out in June and we moved back in January.
And unless I missed it, you never ran for or been on council or ran for council before, correct?
Sir.
Always working for the city.
Well, not always.
Yeah, like,
You said you've been working for the mobile home parks for how long?
Years. I retired here in June. I went to work there in November of 19. So I've been there 3 years.
22, so, okay, so what do you feel like your strongest attribute is?
People. Okay, I'm a people person. I deal well with people. I think straight. I mull things over. I dissect everything. That's just what I do.
You know what the next question would be if I were to ask one?
Now go ahead.
It's okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right, I've got Dwayne Ward Hanson, you're up next.
Is it all right if I stay seated?
Sure.
I've lived here since 2013. I was retired. I have some medical issues, and so I don't work anymore. I have been a very, very strong advocate for property tax relief and doing things right. I've called questions about how the city has done what they do, and I'm not a yes man. I'm going to disagree with folks, and I think that's needed here in this city. I mean, I think there's just been 50 years of doing it the same way with the same people and the same stuff that's going on. I mean, and it's a very simple choice between somebody like me that's an independent thinker from what, and I'm a very strong advocate for reducing property taxes. And there are ways to do that economically in this city. There's been huge problems that I mean, I'm not an expert in it, but if I can spot the issues that have gone unabated in this town, hit by prior administrations and prior mayors, and just how things have been done, from EDC, the genesis of EDC, and a friend of mine, Pete Yoho, who was part of the city council and a previous mayor who was part of that change of the city changing the EDC from a split between half of it being dedicated to roads and half of it being for development. And that was taken away in 2017. And there were some serious changes that Pete and other people feared would happen with the roads in our town, because the roads were getting better up until that point, but with the EDC money. But then,
Even though it was
It's,
illegal,
pardon,
even though it was illegal,
illegal.
yeah, because EDCs cannot furnish monies for roads according to the state statutes.
Well, it's very interesting that's the, there's a statute now that allows for EDC money to be earmarked.
Only for businesses.
Well, I'll be glad to share the statute with you. I've given it to you before about
But it's not,
the
you know,
petition.
according to
Well-
the, I don't want to argue with you by any means, but according to the,
We can discuss it if you like.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll show you.
Are you the same Ward Hanson that stood right over here in one of our meetings and said that you didn't care about the citizens of this town? And that you wanted to unincorporate the city and turn it back into the county, and that we could either do it your way or the hard way?
I've never threatened anybody like that. But you're,
Okay,
You're-
you must be it must be the other board.
So you didn't just 2 months ago publicly state that out on Facebook as well? That
That-
you wanted to do away with this city?
I said that there is an option to dissolve the city. There's a process to go
But
through,
now what changes it that you want to sit up here and help us promote this city?
because I was tasked with this before. I offered, when you were appointed, Ms. Reed, I offered to help. And people have come to me and said, you don't want to help, you don't want to help. Well, I'm offering to help. I'm offering to give a different opinion. And I know y'all don't like that. Y'all
I don't
don't
think
like.
anybody up here has a problem with that. I think we have a
Once
problem
you're doing
with,
things legally, I have no problem. I can't do anything that's illegal as far as that goes.
I don't believe in doing anything illegal either, man. I believe in the law. I believe in doing what's fair and what's right. I just think that there's some serious problems with, just the whole y'all's decision today to go to the maximum tax rate without invoking the citizens, our right to vote on whether that should happen. The same is true for the debt problem. I made a public information request for the actual real numbers of the contract for how much money you're actually borrowing.
So I think those are all different subjects and conversations.
They go to the point of,
Right, but.
I look at the big picture and the long
Yes,
term
sir.
effect.
So those are all different subject conversations for a different setting, not really for what we're trying to accomplish here tonight, is to seat somebody into this place that's empty.
Mhm.
So I guess, the reason why I spoke was try to reel us back in, and maybe we all need to go around the room and ask a question and kind of keep this thing moving in the right direction. So my question would be to you, sir, is what do you feel like your greatest strength is?
My greatest asset is that I seek the truth.
Well, no, your greatest strength.
My strength
Yes,
is my ability to communicate with people in this kind of a situation.
sir. And
Adversarial, if it has to be.
if I were to ask another question, do you know the answer?
What would be my weakness?
And what would that be?
That the fact that I at times can have. I don't want to have to explain it, but there's a process called implicit bias. And I know that I have biases. Sometimes they're hard to know that I even have them.
Thank you. We want to go around or? That's good.
I'm good.
Good. That's all right.
All right, nothing further. Next is Allison Bell. Where's she at? Allison, we're just gonna give us a brief description on your background, and then we'd like to hear sort of the same things from you that we've been asking you to do candidates.
Right.
So,
My background as far as work goes, I have mostly management and administrative positions, property management, retail management, and HR. And then as far as my background in education, in 2019, I received my associates in my associates in legal studies, as well as a paralegal certificate. And then in 2018, I received my bachelor's in learning and technology with an emphasis in psychology. And I'm finishing up my master's in organization learning and technology.
say that again.
I'm finishing up my master's in organization learning and technology, which has to do with business development, talent development, leadership, just helping people grow.
Do you think this is what little bit you've seen here around here, do you think that particular degree would benefit the city?
Very much.
Make a question?
How long have you lived in the city?
We purchased a house last year.
Okay.
March,
So March 2020.
not this past week.
Does your husband work for Hooten?
He does.
Okay. That tree that we put up out there on.
Oh, he came and helped us?
He came and helped.
Oh, yeah. So I met your husband. We both of them.
I'll hold that against.
Uh,
All right on my hands.
I would mention that she is our EDC secretary also.
Sorry, yes. I
Oh,
am.
that's right.
Yes,
That's a new role that you just took for the city, right?
I did.
So you get to be secretary.
I've attended one meeting.
Well, it's been kind of given away, but I like asking these questions to people. What do you feel like that your greatest strength is?
My greatest strengths would be in self-awareness, internalized moral perspective, balance processing, and rational transparency. I know who I am, what I stand for. I'm not gonna let other people stray me from my values or influence me to act outside of the behaviors that I feel I should be behaving. And as far as my weaknesses go, I would have to say also that it would still be that rational transparency. While I do actually seek active, sorry, while I do seek the opinions of others, and I do value those opinions that are in opposition to my own, much like he was saying, there are implicit biases, and I think that would be my one weakness is to try to overcome that, but also recognizing that as a weakness is to be able to say that I can work and develop that.
Yeah.
I'd just like to ask, if you don't get seated to the seat today, can we expect to see you around more and getting involved with it?
Yes. I'm committed to this community. I mean, I bought a house here. I plan on being here, so I would love to be able to help it thrive and become up to its potential, no matter what position.
Is that it? Back around the room, Kevin, Leon, Brown, and Kurt. Okay. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion.
I would like to thank everyone that applied for applying and coming out. And it would be my motion that we appoint Dwayne Hall to seat 4.
I second that motion.
Can I add a vote? I mean, if you want to, can there be more than one motion?
Well, really, you got a motion, you've got a second. You can take a vote on that. If the 2-2 vote, the mayor chooses not to break a tie, then the motion is failed. If it's a 3-2 or 4 vote, then you, or 2-2 vote, mayor chooses to break a tie, you fill the council position.
I'd like the citizens to decide it, but.
Well,
There's an election.
there's an election in November where they live.
Yeah.
So that we're on this position that we're filling is August, September, October, and then there'll be an election in November to fill the seat.
Yeah.
So. But this much will have to get 3 votes. passed. So we need a vote.
Yeah, so you got first and second, now you need an all in favor or
We
whatever.
need a vote.
There you go.
I'm gonna abstain from voting.
Okay. Yes, Leon Meyer.
Pam Reed,
Chris Burkett.
Okay. You made a move.
I made
second.
And Pam second. All in favor? Oh, we already.
You already
Yeah.
did.
We just did that.
All right, we're coming up on, number 10, which is citizens input, not related to agenda items. Do we have anybody that wants to, yes, ma'am?
I didn't fill out a form, but I just would like to tell everybody, all the citizens and everybody in this room, that my time on the council was one of the most important times in my life. And that I value every moment that I spent in that chair. And you got a good guy out there, and you got, and 2 other candidates that were just as qualified. I'd like to tell the folks here in West Walkeny that I love every one of you, and that I care truly for every one of you. And I had to resign because of a medical reason that I'm not gonna go into. But it was a very emotional decision for me, and I did not take it lightly, as I did not take my time and my tenure in that seat on this council. So I want to thank all of you council members for your support, and the people of West Walkeny for their confidence and their support in me. And I wish every one of you well, and God bless everyone.
You're Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, moving on to item number 12.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Kevin Page.
Leon Meyer.
Pam Reed.
Chris Burkett.
We are adjourned.
This was for,
Oh, thanks.
your wall back, you see that I had. I didn't- And, you know, I'll send you the document.
But the first sentence is tiny home. First sentence.